The rules for an XRP strategic reserve in the US are developing stronger. There's also new news and information about this. We're going to talk approximately it. Also this, I suppose we're going to see an explosion of American markets below the leadership of Paul Atkins at the SEC. They're speaking about the crypto marketplace. We're going to talk about all this and greater on this video. Buckle up. Let's have a bit of fun right here. I wish you are having a top-notch day. Thank you for your time. All right, first I want to speak about this due to the fact there are a lot of latest human beings at Crypto Network and the XRP community, or even humans, which might be a bit seasoned, might also screw up on this. So there's a scam alert right here, guys. Listen, whenever you notice something like this or somebody is imparting you unfastened XRP, it is a scam. Okay, no person's going to present you something without cost inside the crypto marketplace, period. End of story. Please be cautious. Protect your wealth because it is able to turn into plenty of cash very, very quickly. That's what we are hoping. So David Schwartz explains consensus versus proof of work and why XRP is better than Bitcoin. Let me play this. So consensus is the way that the XRP ledger solves the double spend hassle without evidence of work. Kind of the hassle is that we can all agree on which transactions are legitimate or invalid. The fundamental guidelines for a transaction are easy. They have to be nicely signed. You can't ship money you do not have. Those matters are all no longer a problem. The problem is that if, shall we say, Alice has one XRP or one Bitcoin or $1, we need her with the intention to ship that to Bill if that's what she wants to do, and want her so that it will send that to Charlie if that is what she desires to do. But if she will do both, we've a large trouble. So somehow, even though both transactions are legitimate, we have to agree on which considered one of them we're going to place first in order that we can agree that the second is invalid. And so it's that hassle of resolving conflicting transactions. Now, historically, it really has been done by a bank. Like if I write a check, my bank either says I even have the funds or I do not. And if I write two exams for the identical money, they will process one first, and we will all agree that the one the financial institution said become exact is good. But we don't have a central authority. Bitcoin makes use of proof of labor. Ripple doesn't. The XRP ledger makes use of a allotted settlement protocol, which is basically just a way of everyone to mention, howdy, I noticed this transaction first. And if you have an extraordinary majority of agreement on that and no manner to renege on that settlement, this is sufficient to order the transaction. That blended with the deterministic validity guidelines is sufficient to mention that the one that we agreed comes first is valid, and the only that we fail to agree comes first. Forever invalid. One of the matters that we found out right away while we started to test with consensus and spot what it became able to doing is we saw that it had numerous benefits over evidence of work. And a number of them are fairly obvious, that you don't need to spend tens of millions of bucks simply to hold the blockchain secure. You do not want to suck cash out of the surroundings to send to strength companies. But there was some other one, it's a little bit less obvious, that is that you do not have a dictator who receives to pick what's in each block. Each block is, or its equivalent, each ledger is determined by means of a consensus of participants. So there may be no single celebration that gets to determine each block. That's what makes viable a number of the features that the Ripple ledger has, like the decentralized exchange and the arbitrary property. Those matters require a device that has inherent fairness instead of people who get to determine the outcome. All proper, guys, concentrate. There are a few problems with Bitcoin proper. David Schwartz, the cutting-edge CTO at Ripple, become a developer at the Bitcoin blockchain. Some people assume that he was at the back of Bitcoin as nicely. So, he understood the demanding situations Bitcoin faced in early days. And it truly is why they created the XRP ledger, right? Because they saw Bitcoin, it didn't restore or therapy the sector's liquidity problems, right? Yes, it's a first-rate save of price, but you can't absolutely use it. Forgo border transactions, tokenizing of assets, strong cash. There's not a lot of things that you could do with actual Bitcoin. So take that with what you may. Donald Trump plans to set up an altcoin strategic reserve that holds American cryptocurrencies. Listen, if this need to happen, these cryptocurrencies specifically will undergo the roof proper. If the United States authorities is buying XRP, Solana, ADA, HBR, and Link, forget about it, it's over, right? Other countries could be forced to do something similar. The purpose for that is, as soon as the United States government begins to stockpile certain crypto assets, other international locations won't be able to buy the ones belongings at the open marketplace. And so they may move in and begin shopping for the one's property as properly. What do you observed banks and financial institutions will do if this is truly going to take region? I can tell you. That being within the crypto market for 4.5 years now, I've visible FOMO on insane tiers, but I do not think I've visible FOMO on this kind of degree, proper. What's above insane, right? Let me know down inside the feedback what a word above insane is, because I want that all proper. Here is the clip that you've been expecting. Ladies and gents, let me play it here. This is Chris Giancarlo, been within the crypto marketplace for pretty a while. And then let me appearance up his name after he speaks. All proper to be the crypto czar for the new management. What does he deliver to the table? So I've regarded Paul, seeing that we have been classmates at Vanderbilt Law School again inside the early 1980s. Paul's an expensive buddy. He's a totally serious thinker. Paul is at heart a loose market libertarian. Paul believes we want to apply our financial regulatory scheme to similarly capital formation. He desires to get right down to the basics of the SEC's role. To similarly cap greater IPOs, more liquid markets, deep and liquid, and attention on how the SEC can facilitate improvements coming to marketplace and elevating capital. So I assume we are going to see an explosion of American markets underneath the management of Paul Atkins on the Securities Exchange Commission. Day is to deliver on some of Trump's digital asset guarantees, a strategic reserve, a crypto council, and possibly a capital gains relief for virtual asset transactions. Then thirdly, to get to the real policy making, we need to get FIT 21, this is fit for the 21st Century Act, which became a regulation that surpassed the decrease house, the House of Representatives, however, no longer the Senate. We were given to get that surpassed. That will session the differentiation between what is regulated via the CFTC, my former organization, and what is regulated through the SEC. And we've got to get solid coin legislation finished, and we're given to get exact policies and guidelines out of each businesses. If we get that, we're going to have finished a few very good coverage. I hope for the relaxation of the 21st century to permit America to absolutely become the virtual asset capital of the sector. The virtual asset capital of the sector, women and gentlemen, that is what I need to pay attention. My ears are ringing with joy. Man, superb matters are taking place here. Finally, proper, it feels top. So permits check this gentleman's past, because I understand he's got loads of exciting connections. American former enterprise executive who served 13 chairman of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. Giancarlo becomes sworn in as FTC commissioner with Partizan. So he worked on, beginning the 20th of January 17, President Donald Trump's inauguration. Giancarlo started serving as performing chair of the CFTC. So we're given